The demonized Israel narrative is what is popular. It is what the mob wants in order to justify their hate and violence. They do not want to see Israelis as human beings in which there are good, bad, and everything in between. They want a simplistic narrative of Jews are bad and anyone against the Jew is automatically good, even if the ones against the Jew are rapists, torturers, mutilators, kidnappers, and murderers. The demonized Israel crowd does not believe in personal responsibility. Anyone against the Jew, in their eyes, can only be a victim of the Jew. Rape, torture, murder, kidnapping are explained away by the demonized Israel crowd and blamed on the victims of the rape, torture, murders, kidnappings, and other atrocities, and not on the actual perpetrators. Imagine a woman that was raped being told that because of something her family or someone else might have done against the rapist in the past, the rapist is not responsible for the rape. Instead, the victim is responsible for her own rape. This would be beyond disgraceful. Blame the Jew for everything is as old as anti-Semitism or hatred against Jews itself. The Jew gets blamed for things that the Jew hater ensures cannot be changed and that can forever be held against the Jew, so that the reasons to hate and persecute Jews remains never-ending. The very existence of Israel is deemed to be a crime by many Jew haters, so that even after 75 years of being a state, the enemies of Israel have a reason to justify murdering any baby and child on the land of Israel. Jew haters make sure that no matter how many generations have passed, no matter how many centuries or thousands of years, the hatred and demonizing of Jews is kept alive. It is not only religion that is used as the excuse to target and scapegoat Jews. Hitler made it racial. Hamas makes it about religion and their belief that they have a right to exterminate Jews. Many make it about occupation, which in and of itself is false, but is now used as the latest excuse to justify persecuting, raping, and murdering Jews. Their position is that the state of Israel should never have come into existence, and so, no matter how many years have passed, every generation of Jews, even babies, are tarnished with this new demented version of original sin and are therefore fair target and game for murder. Each side, not just the Palestinian Arab side, has grievances and has suffered at the hands of the other side. But no grievance, no injustice, no suffering, past or present, justifies the deliberate attacking and harming of civilians. The anti-Israel crowd wants only to blame the Jew and Israel for everything wrong narrative. Anti-Israel narratives appeal to the mob. They attract audiences on social media and elsewhere. They mobilize people around a target to hate. They unite people against a common enemy, no matter how destructive this tactic historically has been. Blaming Israel enables corrupt countries, corrupt leaders, corrupt religious figures, corrupt people to deflect away from themselves and their own corruptions and wrongs. Narratives demonizing Israel and Jews perversely brings fame and fortune. Israel will not disappear because it is the will of the mob. And if the mob does prevail, it means another dark era has descended upon humankind. Hamas and Islamic Jihad on October 7th raped, murdered, kidnapped, beheaded, wounded, burned alive, mutilated, tortured thousands of people inside of Israel and then retreated to Gaza to hide beneath the civilians of Gaza, who they use as their human shields. Hamas spent billions of dollars on underground tunnels to protect themselves and nothing on protecting the civilians they hide beneath and behind. There is not one person in the world who can say how to fight terrorists that use civilians as human shields without civilians being harmed. A sane world would demand that Hamas and Islamic Jihad surrender and leave Gaza so that the war ends. This conflict can only end when the different sides This conflict, and all conflicts for that matter, can only end when the different sides see each other as human beings to be respected and treated with decency. Anything is possible once this becomes possible. What is tragic is that in a world full of extreme mass poverty, severe environmental degradation, horrible wars the world over, collapsing biodiversity, nuclear weapons proliferation, brutal dictatorships, terrible human rights abuses, violent religious fanaticism and hate, and more, the world focuses instead on destroying a small democratic country that consists of half the remaining population of a long persecuted and scapegoated religious minority.